it is the dream of every young Kenyan today akimaliza shule, wherever, whether ni Makueni, Turkana, Lodwar, Turkana, Mombasa, mawapi, to come to Nairobi. Was it also the thing at that time? Nataka nimalize niende Nairobi.
I think there was that pull to Nairobi was always there, because all the industries, all the good thing, light, electricity. People talk about Nairobi like the way people talk about going to London. It is the place of civilization, of enlightenment. There were even things you hear people talking about, drive-in cinemas. You could drive in and listen. They would give you those kind of stories. But jobs, on the whole, the towns were little places with little dukas, but they did not have any industries. It is after independence when there was an attempt to try and create industrial estates in different towns. But I think what again messed them up, I don't know whether it is a question of whether proper research had been done, but whenever you run business from a political eye, it most likely it is not going to be effective. So you probably first of all put a person who is incompetent, but because they are a friend of yours. So instead of using meritocracy, we use politics to run business. That does not work. So industrial estates was a good idea. They were started everywhere in the major urban areas, but they never seemed to move. And most of them have folded up. You had factories like Komi in Kisumu, which was dealing with the making of cloth. In fact, there was in Ginger Night Hill, as they call it. There was factories in Eldoret. There were factories in other places. But one of the things we realized is that was not sustained, and they flopped. And maybe somebody has already written a paper why they flopped. But in summary, there was a kind of disconnect between the people who are being appointed to run those particular organizations. And we have seen it even today. There are many people who have been appointed to run the certain ministries. They are not competent. You find people who have been asked to run certain parastatals because they are a friend of so-and-so. So that, it's like trying to have a donkey run with the horses. It will be lapped. So when you ask that donkey to run, it will never. In fact, somebody used to say one time that it doesn't matter how long you take to feed a rabbit with meat, it will never turn out to be a lion. So you can keep on checking, seeing it, seeing whether the mane is coming out, but it will remain a rabbit. So if you have rabbits running organizations, you remain a rabbit. And I think this has been the biggest thing, meritocracy. If you deal with meritocracy in most of the African countries, we would move very far because we have all the resources we need.
I agree with you.
So I think the focus to Nairobi was there, especially during the colonial period, because the rural areas were supposed to be just producing things for export in their raw form, whether it is coffee, cotton, tea, pyrethrum. That's the way it was happening. So Nairobi was the center. So once we started pushing it back, that did not work very well. I think the next attempt, big attempt, to decentralize from Nairobi has been this devolution. But devolution, unfortunately, we also came with the devolution with a lot of also devolved corruption. Yeah. So yes, you can see the impact of devolution. There's no question about it. There has been a positive impact of devolution. But probably if you take it 1 out of 10, on the impact of devolution, it is probably playing between 3 and 4.
Okay.
Instead of playing maybe about 8 and 9.
8, 9, 10. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If we can be able to push that to about 8 to 9, then even people wanting to come to Nairobi, that would reduce because they would find jobs there.
Where they are.
I can stay in my home without having to pay high rents, and even the rents in Nairobi would come down because the pressure is down.
Yep.
But at the moment, that pull to Nairobi is still there.
I see. There's a question, before I ask the last question on this segment, somebody asked that niulizie bwana Jagi, what was a shopping center? Ukisikia kwa mfano uko hapa tuseme you are living in Kawangware, there was a place called a shopping center. Were shops everywhere or were there specific areas dedicated for shops? Or
I think if you look Nairobi as an example, there was only one major shopping area, which is the CBD.
Okay.
The others were like kiosks, duka la baba na mama, where you can go and buy bread, buy milk, buy something small. But all people, that was the culture then. You went to the city center to buy things. Even if you go to little towns like Nyeri, Kisumu, there was the commercial center. What has happened of late, and that is very, very recent, like in Nairobi, to find the big shops like Westlands, to find the Parklands, now they have become self-sustaining by themselves, to find some in the South B, that particular area. The Lavington area is on its own. That is very recent. And I think that is why there was a discussion as to whether Nairobi has reached a level whether we should have boroughs, where you have sections that are managed as satellite town by themselves. Because I think we are there now.
Okay.
But people used to come to the CBD in Nairobi. That is where everything was found. Then apart from CBD, then there was industrial area. The way the towns were demarcated, they had 3 areas. You had the shopping area where you go to, and there was the industrial area, and you had residential areas. So residential areas, like in Nairobi, like in many other, most of the towns, were now divided by communities. Africans on one side, the Asians on one side, the Europeans on one side. That's the way it was.
Okay.
Now you can argue that those divisions still persist, but they are now more economic.
Sure.
The people who are living in Lavington are those people who have more money, are rich, and the people who are in the Eastlands are people who are poor. And the people in Kibera, what you call the informal sector, are the people who have little.